I'm Amory, and I am here with the Amory's Book Club selection for the month of April, which is If I Survive You by Jonathan Escoffery. In this collection of short stories, which actually feels more like a novel of vignettes, it sits somewhere between short story collection and novel, for me. But I'll go into that more in a moment. In If I Survive You, we meet a Jamaican family who has left Jamaica due to political violence. They've settled in Miami, Florida, and their younger son, Trelawny, is having a pretty difficult time regarding his identity. Their older son, Delano, has a different experience. He's pretty settled regarding who he is. He's quite Jamaican, according to Trelawny, but Trelawny is still searching for who he is. Being in the United States means he's Jamaican, but he's also a big question mark. Is he African American? Is he Black? What is it to be a Black person living in America who is not African American? How does that affect him? How important is it for those around him to know who he is, even if they're strangers? And how important is it for him to know himself? He tries on lots of different identities, flows through many different phases, much to the chagrin of his father in particular. But Trelawny is constantly trying to navigate what it is to be a male in America, be a Black male in America, be a question mark African American in America. And he's also going through what so many young people go through in America regarding living the quote unquote American dream. He doesn't want to follow in his father's footsteps. There is some tension between him and his brother, but much of it comes down to who is he? What is he? The story is really fascinating because we see so much through the lens of his father, his mother, Trelawny himself, his brother Delano, and even their cousin Cookie, who in his vignette or short story, we experience what it is like to look for a father who does not want to be found. And it is a heartbreaking story. So beautifully told, but also so heart-wrenching. There's so much richness to these characters. Trelawny's mother, for instance, is hilarious. I love being introduced to her in the first story. I laughed out loud so many times, and she feels so fleshed out, so fully realized that I could practically see her standing there saying everything that she's saying to her son. Trelawny has so many adventures or misadventures, and I felt a lot of empathy for him, but also there were so many times in which I felt like his father, and I could see Trelawny through his father's eyes, because we do get to know the characters so well, and we get to see what happens in the present and what's happened to them in their past that's gotten them to where they are through their particular perspectives. So we don't only meet each character through Trelawny's perspective. This means there were times, many times probably, that I wanted to figuratively knock Trelawny upside the head. And I could totally see where there were situations that he could have made better had he just done something or said something different. However, he's had a pretty hard go of things, and he is trying to find himself. It is a tough road being someone who is American, but also the child of an immigrant, but still having one foot in, especially someone like Delano, who pretty much is a Jamaican child or adolescent, teen, who is living in America, but he still has his Jamaican roots, versus someone like Trelawny, who, because he's younger, is more in that penumbra between being Jamaican and being American. So there are many differences culturally, and we see that in the story. The reason why I keep saying story, going back to what I was saying regarding the short story collection, If I Survive You really does feel like a shorter novel. It doesn't really feel like a collection of short stories. Neither does it quite feel like a series of vignettes. So maybe it would be more accurate to say that from my perspective, this book feels like a novel, or a book rather, that sits somewhere between a short novel and a series of very connected vignettes. This book is phenomenal. It's hilarious. Trelawny has a very dry, abrasive humor, and I loved it. Please join us for the read. Join us at the end of the month for the book club chat. Follow along with the hashtags Read with Amory as well as Amory's Book Club. I will see you at the end of the month. In the meantime, happy reading. It's very shimmery. This is a gorgeous book cover, by the way. It is just like, this book is so beautiful, and it really does say Miami. It's definitely giving me Miami. I thought it was a little like old school Range Rover, but maybe that's like a Tracker or a Jeep. I don't know. I don't always know cars. Gorgeous cover. Pick it up today and join us for the read.